Hello, everyone. It's Stephanie Ponteau. This is the Vision Church level 2 class. There's my contact information. This is part 3 of the class for Wednesday, May 6th. And in this section, which is part 3, we are going to be on page 109 and we're going to finish up our review unit. We've been reviewing some of the concepts that we've learned in unit 7 and 8 in our student book. And this is the last part of reviewing some of the things that we covered. Okay, so what we're going to talk about in this lesson is we've got 3 sounds there for words that end in D. These are 3 ending sounds for the regular simple past verbs that end in D with that D sound. So this is duh, t, and id. Duh, t, and id. Okay, so let's go over some words that'll help us to be able to hear and see how that works. But the most important rule that I'm going to give you here today, and write this down in your notebook, is that verbs ending in T and D both have the id ending sound and an extra syllable when it's used in the simple past. And these are just a few examples for you, like paint. It ends in T, but you hear that t, paint. Past tense, simple past is painted. You hear that? Painted. 2 syllables. Painted. Need ends in D. Needed. So we have an extra syllable. It's an id sound and an extra syllable. Needed. And this is the sound. It's like knee on your body and then did. Needed. And then cheat. Cheated. You hear that? Simple past. Cheated. It has that id sound. Okay? So we'll hear more words and that rule will make more sense. But write that rule down because as we go through this lesson, you're going to see how true that is. Okay? All right. So we are going to be on page 109, pronunciation. The ed ending, the ed ending in regular simple past verbs. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this lesson. So I want you to listen to the ed endings in the simple past verbs. And there is an audio for that. So the first thing I want you to do is listen. You'll be able to hear it. All right, so let me get to the audio.
Page 109, Exercise 3A, Track 22. Used. She used the new machine. Delivered. You delivered the mail.
Helped. He helped the nurses. Worked. He worked on the weekends.
Wanted. They wanted to make the beds. Assisted. She assisted the patient.
All right, so did you hear that? All those different endings? Okay, so now notice that the words in that chart, like want, that's a word that ends in T and it has the id sound, wanted. And then it's the extra syllable, want, and then wanted. Okay, so did you hear this rule in that word? The verb ended in T and it have the id sound and the extra syllable in wanted. Like with help and helped, it's still a one syllable word. Ends in P, not T or D. So that's the difference. Used. Use, it ends in E. This rule doesn't apply. It's just used. It's still a one syllable word. Worked ends in a K. So you don't add, it is not the id sound. I hope this is making sense. And then like want ends in T. Wanted. This rule applies. And let's see. Assist ends in T. Assist. And simple past, assisted. You see? An extra syllable. Assist and then assisted. Because it ends in T and it simple past is that id sound and then there's an extra syllable. So I hope that makes sense for you. All right, so let's continue on with exercise B. And this is going to be another listening exercise. So I'm going to play it and let you hear it. And then we'll go through those words as well, okay? All right, 1 second here. All right, one moment. I hadn't scanned it yet. So just give me one moment here to scan it. Okay, sorry. Having a little technical difficulty with my phone here. I have been plagued with technical difficulties with my videos, it seems. All right, here we go.
Page 109. Exercise
Here we go.
3B. Track 23.
Repaired. Prepared. Played.
Picked. Cooked. Walked. Id.
Needed. Started. Visited.
Okay. All right, so this concept, I know you might be thinking, okay, all these words in their simple past end in D. Why are there so many ending sounds for words that end in D? So all I can tell you is, all languages have these little funny rules about how to pronounce things. So these are some rules you just need to know about words in their past tense, their simple past that end in D. These are the three different sounds that you can get: the D, the T, and id. And these are examples of the words that have them. And then this is the rule that'll help you figure out the ending sound for your word. So make sure you write this down. Verbs ending in T and D have the id ending and an extra syllable in the simple past. Okay? All right. So Let's read over. Oh, okay, so we did B. All right, so we have one more to listen to for exercise C. And exercise C, it says listen and check the correct column. Okay, so I want you to listen and see if you check the correct column for the word sound, and then we'll go over it to make sure that you selected the right one, okay? All right, sorry about that. Phone was a little slow.
Page 109,
All right.
exercise 3C, track 24. 1,
Cleaned.
2, operated. 3,
Finished.
4, handled. 5,
Pushed.
6,
Checked.
7,
Answered.
8, reported.
Okay, so let's see if you got the correct D sound for each of those words. All right. Number one, they did for us as always. Cleaned. You hear that? Duh. It's the duh sound. Cleaned. Okay, so you would have checked under the D. Operated. Operated. The id sound. That's the last column with the ID. Okay, so, but that word fits our rule too, doesn't it? Let me just write it up here. Operated. No, it does actually doesn't fit our rule. No extra syllable was added here. I'm sorry. It is the id sound, but no extra syllable was added because it doesn't end in T. So it's just operated. So number two is id, operated. Number three, finished. Finished. So that's the T sound. Handled. Handled. That's the D, the first column. Okay, and number five, pushed. 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 The T. The T sound. Pushed. Checked. Checked. The T sound. Check that column. Checked. Although it's weird, it sounds like got a T sound, but it's ED. I know sometimes the spelling and the sounds, that's why this is a whole lesson by itself, because it can be a little confusing. All right? Answered. Answered. And that's the D. And then reported. Reported. And that's the id sound. But the present tense of the word is report. Ends in T, right? They have the id sound. Reported. Reported. Report is the word, and then reported, excuse me, is the past of that word. So it's the id for this one. Reported, but it's the id sound. I know this is a little confusing. We'll just have to practice this one some more probably. All right, and then exercise D is a little bit more practice. And then this is actually going to change, it's going to end our review unit for unit 7 and 8. All right, so exercise D says write 6 regular verbs from unit 7 and 8 in the simple past and then check the correct column. Now, this is a little bit more difficult for us to do together as a class because you're selecting the words. I'm not going over it with you. So what I would like to offer, I'm going to do a few more example words for you. And then if you do this exercise, which I encourage you to do it, it's 6 words. Pick 6 words and tell me, go look back through units 7 and 8, pick 6 words from that unit, and then you can send me what you thought the letter sounds was, or I can pick some now and we can just go over some together and then you can practice. You can find a few more for yourself. Okay, so let's see. All right, so from unit, I think this was unit, which I forget if it was, oh yeah, this was unit 8, where some of the responsibilities for the orderlies in the hospital were to deliver. The orderlies had to deliver things, right? And the simple past for deliver would be delivered. The duh, been delivered. The duh sound. So deliver, simple past would be delivered. All right, another word from unit 8 would be, let's see. What was our friend's name? Marco? Work. And Marco worked. He worked the night shift. Remember the picture of Marco? And outside the window was stars and the moon, and we knew it was night. He worked the night shift. So work is the verb. Worked. Worked is the verb in simple past, and it is the T sound. Worked. Let's do one more. A word from our unit 8. Pick. And picked. Marco picked up the x-rays and delivered them to the lab. Pick, simple past is picked. Hear that? Picked. And it's the T sound as well. So you just need to know you've got these different sounds for the simple past of verbs that end in T and D, and you just have to learn the rules around which ending sound that particular word has. But this is a great rule for you to remember. Verbs ending in T and D have the id ending and an extra syllable. And having examples to look at to see how that rule works in action is really the best way to remember. Examples are always just great things to help you to learn, like assist, Okay, assist ends in a T. The simple past of assist is assisted. The id, you hear that id sound? Okay, ends in T. Assisted. So we've got the extra syllable. Assisted. Assisted. Let's see. And that was from Unit 8 as well, where the nurses assisted the doctor. And the nurses also helped the doctors. So help, it doesn't end in T or D, so this rule doesn't apply. So it would be, the simple past of help would be helped. So it's the T sound, the ending sound for T. Helped. All right, so I think that is it. I hope that was helpful. If it was confusing at all, we could set up like a Google Hangouts meeting where people can come in and we can have a little study session. So I will set that up and I'll send you guys out a text messages to see if you want to do something like that. All right. So that's the end of Wednesday, May 6th, part 3 class, which was it was a review unit. Okay. Bye.